spots in that group stage, or in that bracket stage, excuse me, automatically. But also groups of... Sorry.
We're off.
I'll finish explaining in just a second. We just have bombs in Sanctuary.
Yeah, go ahead and explain why we make our way over towards the Uncle, as well as over towards Kakariko Village, as we do get to see our crystal and pendant distribution in the live world. Anyway, so what does this you mean about the group stage?
So there will be a group stage of 50 players max, 10 groups of 5. They'll be playing each other over 2 days live at SG Live. That's a bit redundant there. And basically the number 1 from each of those will get put in the bracket that'll be played on Saturday and Sunday. And then there'll be a giant playoff race on Friday night with all the second place finishers in each group to pick the last 3 bracket spots.
A sword at the lumberjack.
Ooh. We probably won't be seeing that sword unless it's our sword number 2. Which, in theory, could happen. Be pretty low percent.
Okay, so naturally we're dealing with an open mode, but there's no hint in this seed, which means that if you decide that you're going to talk to the hint tiles in this game, you're just going to be reminded, hey, look, these are not going to give you the information you need to know.
Yeah, it'll just be the text that was just available before V30. It never really went away. It just got hidden. So, yeah, there you go. And Ak is giving us a look at the Thieves Hut.
We see ourselves with a heart container, some rupees, a mirror, which is nice to see, and also some bombs. And it's always nice to get some bombs when you're in a place that you actually need them. But I don't think we have to worry about that because we started off with some bombs. And hey, look, 2-minute boost.
Some go fasts. I'll take those. I think Ak will like those.
I think all of these runners will like that, but Ak probably likes it a whole lot more than others do.
I saw him practicing the hover bypass in Pod for the hover bypass to bypass the mimics. So we'll have to see if he busts that out.
By the way, I just want to point out, we do have, thanks to our trackers that are working behind the scenes, we'll shout them out a little bit later, pendants for Eastern and Desert, the crystal at the Tower of Hera. None of them are part of the extra items, which would be the 5-6 crystal for the Tower of Hera, or rather the 5-6 crystal for the Pyramid Fairy, or the green pendant to get the item at Sahasrara. So as we see these runners making their way through Kakariko Village, we get a whole array of items that we're picking up, but we also have a whole array of different sprites on our screen.
The only one I'm actually kind of familiar with, I think Shady Force is playing with Invisible Man. Just a shadow. I think Fear Agent is using the, is that from Triforce Heroes?
Fear Agent?
Yeah.
I believe that's Minish Cap.
Is that Minish Cap? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. The small link. And I don't know actually what Ak is using.
Hey, we got a fire rod inside the library. Nice to have a weapon. Obviously, you need magic to use that, but that's a nice one you want to find early on.
It's a fire source as well. That could come into play if we ever get a glove and a glove or a flute to get access to Death Mountain.
We get our first bottle at the race game, and that's interesting. We have not seen what this kid has, so Ak may route him in before he leaves the village. Maybe trying to take a look at the spear chains here and say, hey, look, I'm here in town. I might as well go ahead and see what this sick kid has. That makes it a whole lot easier when you get the village, or rather you get the boots.
And Sick Kid has this just $20.
Yeah, just 20, but it's also good to get him out of the way at this point. So I think at this point, we will go ahead and see what these runners will choose to do after they get done with here. We see Ack purchasing some bombs, so it looks like he's going to probably be planning either the escape or the mini Moldorm cave next. And as he walks to the south, it does appear that he is going to do the South Shore Mini Moldorm, perhaps. So it looks like he's going to do Mini Moldorm first, because it looks like he's going to plan on doing the swamp area, or not. Ack is going to... Oh, he's going to see what's on the crab first, and then head to Mini Moldorm. I see what he is up to. So I believe this game plan is to go ahead and do this and then leave the swamp as a potential target after you're done doing this. So that way you don't make Agina as a one-stop shop.
All right, $300. Just more money. Here's our Bombos medallion.
Bombos Medallion, which is all right to see, but with the fire rod, it becomes a little bit less of a I'm excited to see this. And it's something you can't even use at this point until you get the sword.
And Fear Agent's going to give us a look at the flooded item here. And there's our flute. So we'll have to see if Ack goes back for that. He probably will.
He will, but I think, like I said, the idea for him is that he wants to do it when he's ready to head on over towards Agina. He's got a few other options at this point. So he's going to head over here, check out what's inside the Hyrule Castle. The first of these runners to go and make that way. We saw Hitsuyan just go into the back 3 of Sahasrahla, his closet there. Anything of note?
I see a shovel on his tracker. Looks like Hitsuyan is going to go ahead and visit Eastern Palace without a bow.
You never know when the game wants you to double dip a dungeon, because everything that he's checking in this first section could actually still be in logic. And, well, you know, sometimes Seed wants to give you more reasons to come. We see the Ether Medallion, so that's 2 of our 3 medallions that we know of at this point.
Axe giving us a bomb escape. There's a glove.
That is a nice find at that stage. That means the back 3 are now open. This is one of those kind of interesting seeds where you have everyone on different paths already at the 9-minute mark of the run. Hitsuyan doing rather active. Bokor is doing the bomb escape, gets the bomb perfect there, and switches over the fire rod. He's got a few shots available to him there, so perfect use of that. And
well, we have 20 people in this race, so sometimes like you feel like you just have to like go and you have to do something slightly unorthodox, maybe outside of what you normally would do.
Flippers in Eastern.
And we're 100 rupees short from Zora on Hitsu.
He's also going to go into the dark area And we do see Act the Bokor. Is he going to do the Dark Cross? No, he is not. He's gonna. Looks like he's gonna check the back 3 of Escape now. And if he does not get a small key, then we know the small key's in Dark Cross. Otherwise, there's something that's in Dark Cross, and it is going to be lamp locked, just like what Hitsu is doing right now is lamp locked as well.
I don't think that Dark Room's gonna scare him one bit, though.
It's not going to, but and look, wow, look at Act the Boker's health at this point, and okay, I was a little worried there, but Hitchwin did get it done. Unfortunately, he did get a map out of that chest, so unfortunate for him. And we do see a small key in the back 3 of Escape, which does mean Dark Cross will have an item. We got water dashing going on from Fear Agent.
I know Fear Agent likes this type of tech.
And he gets 100 rupees out of it, which means that if Hitsu decides to go towards Zora, he will get the rupees he needs at the waterfall cave.
I will say that that was pretty fortunate rupee placement for. Oh, and there's our Moon Pearl on the ledge.
And Fear's not going to be able to get that.
No.
Hitsu is going to be the only one who gets that at this point because of that early trip into Eastern.
Yikes. And there's our ice rod. No ice rod hunt today, I suppose.
That makes a runner feel good until you find out that Turtle Rock is a pendant. Answering the question in chat, is this normal logic? This is open mode. The only thing that's different that is not normally in the exhibit when you see these races is the fact that the hint tiles are turned off. There are no hints that these runners can pick up. Ak is going into Eastern, so he too will have the flippers before he makes the trip over towards Zora.
So hints were especially shut off for these seeds just to keep it closely in line with what our runners will be experiencing in Herndon, Virginia with the settings. Because we will be on V31 at that point, and a decision was made to not play with hints for this particular tournament. So we wanted to kind of keep it as consistent as possible between these qualifiers and the live event that will be on V31.
Green pendant is ice. Looks like our 5-6 combo was ice or Balance of Darkness and Skull Woods.
Fear Agents. This is a crystal.
Hey.
So this is.
We just.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We got gloves from the dig spot.
Ooh.
So Hyrule Castle, the dig spot, and then the Moon Pearl at Zora's Let's. That's your Dark Road access.
So Fear Agent doesn't have a weapon. So he's not going to be able to get super far into this dungeon here. Just a little bit.
Yeah,
the
one thing that he would have been able to do in that dungeon is get all the way up to Moldorm, but he's going to say no at this point. Flute away, realizes that this is not where the seed wants him to go. So he's got to try to put himself to where the seed wants him to go. Right. And he's on the right path. He's got to go to Eastern. So that's part one of the puzzle.
Be careful, Fear Agent. There's some health in Sahashila's closet, though.
There is, but he's got to get there. Those Octoroks, if you actually do touch them, do take a heart away. The rocks are just a half a heart, thankfully. But he does get 3 hearts here, so he will be able to replenish.
Yeah. Yeah, alright, so our spade was in Sasha's closet. And Hitsu is also set doing a water walk. He's gonna be pretty happy. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the only difference with Hitsu is that he does have the flipper, so therefore it's not like he is going to be taking himself out of getting that Moon Pearl. We got simultaneous hobo check.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a fake flipper check on Axe side.
Hey, a unique item is that a person underneath the bridge. The single arrow. Just a heart container over at the Hylia Island. So Hitsuin is going to be getting the 100 rupees. Already has enough for Zora.
He actually has enough for the rest of the game, which is always nice to have. I think he's gonna be pretty happy to see this Moon Pearl.
And Dak is making his way over towards Zora as well, using that portal that is to the west of Sanctuary to get him over towards the Zora area, which is a nice routing decision here, as Itsu's going to get the Ice Rod first and then pick up the Flippers. So early Fire Rod, early Ice Rod, what does that make a runner think?
Well, if I find Samaria, I could easily be looking at a very early TR clear. We need hammer as well, so there's that.
Yep, we need the hammer, but also we need a sword at some point in time to actually use the medallion, but
That's
we
true.
will find a sword at some point. We know where there's a sword, by the way. We know where there's one sword. You're probably not going to see any of these runners get it at Lumberjack.
Yeah, so that sword requires a sword too. So we have to find a sword and cape. That could potentially be our second sword in Logic.
That is rude.
That would be pretty rude. I suspect that we'll probably find two swords before that point, though.
And answering somebody who said you can do Aga with Spagnate. Well, yeah, you can, but you still have to cut down the curtain to his room. The curtain's only down in swordless mode. But that's because you need to have it that way so you can even access him. But in sorted games, you do need to have a sword in order to get to him personally.
Ack realizing you can't item dash without a sword. I don't think you can item dash a shovel, can you? I think you have to have
No,
a sword
you
for
have
that.
to have a sword in order to have the item dash work.
Yep.
So Ack is going to be the first runner that has Dark World access. So he's going to take his Titan's Mitt and the Moon Pearl and head over towards the Dark Village.
So that begs the question: where's our first chat? Where do you think this first sword's going to show up? It'd be interesting because we can't do Skull. We can't finish Skull Woods right now. There's also a curtain in Skull Woods, right?
Yeah, that's right. So that actually brings to my answer, Sinak. I think the first sword is going to be underneath that bridge to Mothula. Because that's the one place you're not going to check until you have a sword, until normally after you beat Mothula.
That would also be pretty rude. Yeah. This seat is definitely for people who are comfortable with swordless right now.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the kind of thing that you want to see in these qualifiers. You want to see it come down to runners who know their execution. They know how to route. And that's why you're seeing familiar names on the top of these leaderboards.
Yeah, we drop your worst and best times, right? So you have to be consistent throughout all 5 qualifiers. If you just get really lucky with one and then you kind of are meh with the others, that's not going to work out really well for you. You have to be really good across the board.
So Axe in a place that he can't beat right now. And that is Thieves Town. And the reason why is because you need to have a sword, hammer, or the cane of Samaria, or the cane of Burna. Several items that Blind can take damage from, but with his current arsenal, he has no way of doing damage.
We'll have to see. I mean, there's still quite a few items here, and even if he rescues Blind, he can. It's fairly easy to get back to Blind. You don't have the script anymore, but if you're loaded to bear, I should say.
And as he pulls
I think
out
he's just
the
failing.
mirror, that is a first 4 check and nothing more.
Yep.
What did we just see on the desert ledge?
I missed that.
It almost looked to me like that was a lamp. Oh, it was a red potion. Okay, I knew it was red something. I knew it wasn't a red rupee. So it was a red bottle, according to everybody that is helping us. Shout outs to Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna and also to Mr. Bronstone, who are helping to click the buttons in the background for us. And also thanks to the pairs of eyes we have helping us in chat as well.
Yeah. Both of them kind of bailing us out the last minute on the tracking. So we very much appreciate it.
So Hitsu is going to pick up the red goo. Fear Agent's about to get his first glove that will help answer how do I get into the dark world, as Ak is going to be rescuing the breadsmith, and Ak seems to be moving at a pace that the others are not at this moment. ₹300 from the breadsmiths.
Yeah, Shady Force is also coming into Hera without a weapon for Moldworm.
It looks like Shady Force is actually committing to actually go through this dig here of a very annoying Tower of Hera that he needs to destroy these. He can't push them down the hole. He has to actually hit them with the pots in order to allow them to get killed. Yeah, nice setup there for Fear Agent as he gets his Titansmith, and that was Titansmith that he picked up, so he had already used the shovel.
I think our only runner now not on Titans is Shady, actually. And I suspect he'll be using that shovel relatively soon.
Yeah, I think once after he's done with this, he will make the choice to do so. Hitsu is going to head on over towards the checkerboard cave. Ak is checking the purple chest and various other checks that are in that area. And, oh, Shady Force gets hit down the hole. Or rather, he goes down the hole. That is a 2-floor ouch.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to probably mirror here. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna cost a little bit of time. And he has to deal with these beetles again without a sword.
Yeah, exactly. And Ak is about to check Hype Cave. Let's go ahead and see if we have some hype this time around. Oh, you get some more bombs for his effort.
0. 3 points. 4 points. 4 out of 10. Powder's really nice to have. And the mushroom could be something.
2 fetch quests inside of that cave.
Yeah. I'm kind of averaging here. Like if those lead to something, then they're like 10 out of 10.
I wouldn't even give it 10 out of 10.
Fetch quests are fetch quests.
I would take a point out just for the annoyance of it being a fetch quest.
Is it like a -1?
1 point deduction.
Like Mr. Bronson The TBD out of 10. We'll go with that for right now. But it still loses points. Ak is going to finally claim his flute.
Interesting routing that leads him into this direction. However, for Ak, he's going to go into a place that only has one check for him. But, you know, if this check leads to something interesting, then guess what? It's going to be a big payout at the end.
So cool thing to know. If you're holding a bomb, you can't go into a mirror transition like that. So that's a quick way to kind of escape a situation that you may put yourself in. Yeah, this is pretty bold. I like this.
That's a nice triple kill right there. Patience was quite the virtue for him.
I want to say that maybe Ak practiced that, but I have no clue.
But it comes up empty with just 3 bombs. Meanwhile,
Fear got bow.
Fear got the bow, according to the people in chat, and I did not see where he picked that up from. Oh, the old man had the bow.
I'm surprised more runners don't have it. They must. Did Shady Force skip old man?
Well, you got to remember that in order to make that cave a whole lot easier, having a sword makes it nice, or having something that allows you to ping onto the walls. Something that gives you a relative idea of where you are. And I believe Fear was the only one who had made that decision.
Well, it's certainly going to pay off for him.
The payoff is questionable at this point. It all depends on what Palace of Darkness has beyond the Mimics. Because if the Mimics have something, then yeah, this definitely pays off. Alright, it's time to find out what exactly we can do with the magic powder we found at Hype Cave. So what's your score now, Sinek?
Potentially a 2 out of 10. Maybe if that mushroom is something. I still want to give it points for the powder, because powder is a really nice safety to have. Like, regardless of how your skill level is. You just always feel better with powder.
Shady Force picking up some bombs out of the big key chest inside Skull Woods, and he will go ahead and leave the dungeon for now. And Fear Agent is exploring Desert Palace, and Itsu is doing the stuff we saw from Mac a little bit ago, as the seed starts to come together a little bit. Now, Sinek, we're going to see ultimately how much this Hype Cave was truly worth today.
Alright. Drum roll, please.
And Sinek, I'm going to rate that a much better Hype Cave after that hammer pickup from the mushroom. I think I'll give it a 5.
5? I'm going to be a bit more generous with it. Probably say a 7 or an 8. I would have given...
I'm still taking points. I'm still taking points off for the annoyance.
Exactly. The thing is that... So think of what the game wanted you to do there, right? You had to walk clear around the world, down, to go to Hype Cave, to get the mushroom, so you could turn it in. Then to get access to that area, like, faster.
The thing is, you could continue that path around and be able to do a little bit more by way of heading straight towards Palace of Darkness, over towards Catfish. Still was in logic as well, because we have the flippers that get you from the left Dark World to the right Dark World. Now, Ak, with a weapon in hand, is going to return to Thieves Town. This time he can beat this dungeon.
Yeah. And the fact that he kind of left it alone means that he can at least do this fight on script. If he would have like dropped off blind and then failed, this fight would be a little bit harder. He has a lot of health though.
Whoa! Fear is going into Ice Palace.
Now this is pretty bold, especially without hints. Like Ice's like one redeeming factor was, yeah, especially since we know where the hammer's at. There's no way he can finish this. And you don't even have hints to help you like get some redeeming value out of it.
So Hitsu's got the mushroom, got the magic powder, but is making the path over towards the pyramid. Not going to check Palace of Darkness just yet, but we'll check the Palace of Dirt or the pyramid first to see what is on that ledge. As Zach gets 20 rupees out of the attic of Thieves Town. Catfish was all the 20 rupees.
And Fear is bailing. It's probably just kind of just. Or
well, the major thing.
Sorry.
The major thing with Fears at this point is he's got the Fire Rod and Ice Rod as his only weapons against the Penegators. He can't use the Medallion against them because in order to use the Medallion, you have to have a sword. Oh, that's right, he does have a bow, but can Penegators work face against the bow?
I've never actually tried it. Maybe?
Palace of Darkness check here for hits. We know that he's missing 2 components to this dungeon, but we'll see if we can't get anything else nice that's in here. And here is Zach against Blind.
Yeah.
Oh, the bombs work against the Penegators. I also forgot about that because that's one of the strategies used on the second room against the Penegators.
So Ack lost the script, but I don't think that's going to stop him here.
Yeah, he has way too many hearts in order to have this become a problematic fight. Gets 20 rupees out of that, and that was a wrong way bomb throw for hits. Let's try that one again.
That's our first crystal of the game.
At 32 minutes in, yes.
Hitsoyan is diving pod without hammer or bow. Yeah, Veer and Agent without the hammer. Veer Agent without the hammer.
Hookshot is in Palace of Darkness.
Oh boy. I think Ack will probably, once he gets that bow, I think Paladin will probably be a high target for him. Ack's on a really good path right now, I think.
Itsu is going to go ahead and do the potion glitch. Now, I should tell you, the potion glitch is legal here under the rules of the tournament. You can go ahead and do this, so this is perfectly legal by rules of this. The one you can't do is the mimic clip. So Hitsu pulls it up pretty fast, gets up here, and let's see what's inside of these 2 chests that are supposed to be bow blocked in the Book of Medora.
I'm not sure how much he's going to read into that.
I see what you did there.
I tried.
Ack is about to get the bow in just a moment. You can see he's using the boots in order to help show where his position is on the map. So he gets the old man out. He's going to get the bow.
So it looks like Fear is going to go check the iced tea chest. There's also one more chest here that he can logically maybe check.
At this point, considering what we have found, I don't know if there's anything that Fear can really find that is going to help benefit him.
Yeah, I mean, Kane, but without other gear. I guess the good news for Fear, right, is at least this is probably not going to be a double dip unless the Hosrila has something. It's still time in a pendant dungeon. We don't know if it's going to pay or not.
Looks like Fear's going to opt to do the bomb jump. He's going to try to pull this off, and this is going to get really interesting because he's down to 2 arrows, I see.
Oh, he's in a hover? Alright. Fear. Alright.
Yeah, Fear's got way too much invested at this point. He does not want to give this up.
Alright. That might look good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it this time around. The thing is that this is only for 1 item.
Yeah.
You only have access to 1 item at this point. And here's the other problem. You only have 2 hearts now, thanks to what just transpired. Yeah, he's got no chance of getting that chest now with the 0 hearts and no mail. Yeah, that's a frantic scroll, and yeah, he's not getting it.
That's sad. That's unfortunate to see. I think hopefully he decides to. I think he's just gonna give up on the idea of Ice Palace.
He needs to at this point, especially considering the fact that we know where the hammer is, we know where the hookshot is. He has to go follow that bow chain at this point, get himself into the Palace of Darkness. But the problem is he doesn't want to go in there without the hammer because he wants to one-shot it. And that's not a problem, but he needs to do the whole entire loop around to get him the hammer itself. Hitsu's about to pick up the hammer, and Shady does have the hammer in his arsenal. We are still on the lookout for some swords at this point, and we know where one of them is. We can't even get to it yet.
Are we gonna have like the legendary 1-hour sword scene? Especially with like all the we haven't come across a sword despite all the divergence.
Well, we came across a sword, like I said, we just can't get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice use of the falling down and going and using the return back to that start there to use the crystal switch. That's beautiful.
Okay, so Shady Force also went and turned in his mushroom. Hitsu also has the hammer as well.
Everybody but Fear right now has the hammer in their arsenal. And now, don't forget, we don't know where the lamp is, but the checks that are coming up here for Hitsu are in logic because of where that hookshot was. Also because of the fact we already had the hammer and the mirror. There's the other mail upgrade inside Paradox Cave.
So this is our first look at Paradox, isn't it?
Yeah. Act went up here earlier. He had the opportunity to do so, but he stopped in his tracks once he got that bow because he wanted to finish this dungeon off now. He could both do this, and, well, he could do Eastern, but Eastern being a pendant, less of a priority.
Looks like Hitsu's going to also give us probably our first look at Hookshot Cave. Also what our medallion requirements are for TR.
Yep. According to our tracker, or at least the tracker on the bottom here, it does appear that we have Bombo lit up as the requirement to get into Misery Mire.
Alright, so at least we don't have to worry about that. Alright, we're 40 minutes, no swords. We're 2/3 of the way there to the 1 hour mark.
I can remember the time I had to deal with a seed for an hour and 18 minutes without a sword. This is nothing still.
True. I had one also come up in Key Sanity where I was the first runner on stream for the sword at like an hour 20 as well.
Ether required for Turtle Rock.
Alright. So Quake's dead to us.
Well, there's the red meringue. And Fear's going to check Catfish at this point. Needs to get into Head Cave. Not certain what's keeping Fear away from making that loop around, but maybe, as you mentioned before, because of this field of 20 and the fact that these are qualifiers, the plays that you want to make in order to try to get yourself a particular position or to try to help catapult yourself to a level that gets you qualified for the bracket stage in the live tournament.
Yeah, we are also using these results for seeding the groups. So even if you don't make that top 3, your performance here is still going to be important. It is going to influence how well you do in the group stage. So,
and when you, I just wanted to interrupt by saying it's not necessarily where you finish, but where you are in regards to the top finisher.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you mentioned, that's what the point system is all about, is your comparison to the runners that are in the top 3, their average time.
Yeah, and it's really nice too, because so let's say you end up playing with other really good runners in a qualifier. You're not stuck in a scenario where, all right, I got second place, even though I finished maybe 3 seconds behind first, and now I'm taking a disproportionately larger hit. Kind of helps smooth that out a little bit.
Oh, nice setup there for Ak in order to take care of the Helmisar King. He's got his second Crystal of the Seed. And 50 rupees.
Ak's really on pace to post a really good time.
And where are the standings right now, Zach?
He's technically second with 1 race played. He's just behind Shady Force. Now, these numbers aren't that reliable until you've played at least 4 races. Because when you've only got 1 or 2, we don't subtract your upper or lower score yet. But once you have at least 4, then we'll know for certain. But yeah, he had a really good first qualifier.
As you mentioned before, it's all about being consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Like you can get a 100 on a race, right? But if you have bad times for the other 4, that 100 isn't going to mean a whole lot.
Well, that 100 is going to mean absolutely nothing, because that's going to be the score that gets dropped as your top score.
Exactly. Also, if you forfeit a match, you can afford 1 forfeit, because that could be your dropped score. But if you forfeit more than once, your ranking is really going to tank. So forfeiting is usually a pretty bad idea. You really want to stick these out, because whatever score you get is usually going to be better if you finish than taking the forfeit time, which is scored as the slowest time plus 15 minutes, which is pretty low.
By the way, Charafera came up empty. He found a 20 rupee inside of the big chest, so nothing there. We got chat commenting about how Swamp may very well be the play, and everything is in logic. We have everything we need in order to beat this dungeon.
Yeah, there's a lot of requirements for Swamp, so when you can meet those requirements, it's there's 5 items and 6 items in Swamp. I think it's 6, yeah.
It is 6 items inside of a Swamp Palace, and we can access all 6 of them now.
Hey, at least you didn't have to check the first chest again. Yeah, this is Ack's second trip into Swamp.
Yeah, he did a quick check of that first chest in case I had something in it. Did not get anything great in there, but I think that really is the only misplay that Ack has done all seed.
And if that chest would have had something, he would have been so far ahead. He would have been more far ahead than he was.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
and that's why I'm phrasing it as a misplay. It's not a mistake. No way at all that's a mistake. It's just a misplay. He went on a strike while he was on that route and did not come up with anything.
Yeah, if he would have checked Hype Cave first, and the hammer was actually in Hype Cave and not the mushroom, yeah, he could have checked a lot more of this.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another good point, is the fact that maybe the hammer being behind the mushroom was actually a good thing, because then it keeps him further away. Now, Hitsu is going to be right behind that Ack. Still without the bow, though. And I'm more and more curious to where this lamp can be to put that bow in logic.
I mean, it could be pretty much anywhere at this point, except maybe Pod. I think some of these, I'm not sure how many keys would we find in the bow lock section of Pod.
Now, it's not going to be in Palace of Darkness because Ack already full cleared it and it wasn't there.
So you got some menu strats going on.
That's 2 menus.
I'm sure.
That's 3 menus.
I'm sure.
Oh,
Ack is wishing he get quick swap right now.
Yeah, and that's one of the mechanics that can be used in entrance shuffle that he loves to play, and you can't do it here in this mode. You can see how fast he's just flurrying his way over towards the hammer. Just, you know, some of these top runners can move that menu with such precision that you just get so jealous because you can't even move your controller like that. It takes you like 5 times the time just to get over to the hammer, and then you mess it up, and then it's going to spend you an extra 5 more seconds trying to get into it. Now, thankfully for this last stage, he can make it a little easier. He's got his ice rod out. Ready? He only got 1 hit on him there. 4 hits is what he needs to do on him in order to knock him away. So now he's got 3 hits on him. He knows the hammer's going to kill him. There it is.
And looks like the left side of Swamp has something.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be visiting the left side of Swamp. Everybody, get a nice yay in the chat.
And it's not like you get hinted at it, so you could avoid it, because hints aren't a thing here. So yeah, into left side Swamp we go. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't come across a sword yet. I know I've said that multiple times.
We're not at an hour yet, Sinek.
True. I'm hoping to say that I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, because yeah, I don't know.
You know, the further along we go into the seed that you try to do the commentary curse, the greater the chance that it's actually going to happen.
Hey, it's the shotgun approach, right? You just keep
2 items left side.
Just do it multiple times until you get it right. Yeah.
You know, that's really fancy how that shield works on the invisible sprite.
Just kind of is there. And then it like just disappears when you push it.
It flips around, all that good stuff. Shout out to the devs who did a lot of work on the sprites that you see in this game.
Back of the shield is something you typically don't get to see, so that's kind of cool.
Exactly.
I'll tell you too, if you want to learn your bomb jumps off of shadows, Invisible Man is a great way to practice that.
There are some runners who do swear by using the shadow technique in order to help line themselves up for the perfect jump, and that is one of those cases, because not every single sprite has the same position on the screen. Like, you could go from being Link into being like Clyde, for example, when the Ghost from Pac-Man, and that has a different box, and then you can play as Super Meat Boy, and that has a different position. 20 rupees inside the first of the left side. And what do we got here on the other left side swamp chest? A bottle. Still no swords.
Yeah. More menu strats from Hitsu. Oh. Well, at least we're gonna probably get a read at least what's on the tablet. We can't quite get the item yet, but we'll be able to see if we need to come back to Bombo's tablet or not.
Yeah, we already know we don't have to come back to Eastern because that was a little bit of love. But what do we have here at the Bombo's tablet? Nice 2-cycle for Hitsu and couch cash at the Bombo's. That's it. We're done moving. Shady making his way over towards the Palace of Darkness. Hookshot coming soon for them. Hitsu's going to be coming back here into Swamp Palace to try to see what's on that left wing. And there's the Gina check for Ack.
Alright.
So I think at this point, Fear is going to have to start making that play towards Hype Cave. He's done everything else. And the thing with the hammer is that the hammer does block a whole lot in us.
Yes, it does. And it can really make going to Hype Cave a lot less attractive if you don't have that hammer. So I could see why it'd be very tempting to put it off, but in this case, if you did, it's not going to work out.
And I'm wondering if the idea here for Fear is that he was hoping to put off doing the Hype Cave check that has the mushroom that leads to the hammer, because he was wanting to lump it together with Swamp Palace to be able to just do everything in one full swoop.
Yep.
Full clearing the entire area, which is not a bad thing. It's just it's keeping him from the reward at this point.
Chat says, did we see Spike Cave? I don't believe we've gotten a Spike Cave check.
Yeah, nobody's made that adventure into there, because at this point you just need to have the health to get through it, because we do not have the 2 items that would make it into Logic, the Cane of Burna or the Cape.
Yeah, nor I think our runners have. Maybe Ack has a potion for it. I don't know if
Ack
he's used it.
Ack has enough hearts to get through it at 16 at this point.
It's true.
And oh my goodness, 16 hearts at the 54-minute mark, and still no sword.
a healthy seed. That's about it. It's not a very aggressive one.
It's about to become a little more healthy or healthier for Ak as he picks up the blue male. We need 2 swords and a cane of Samaria to get into go mode, friends. And we're still not there yet. Did we see Digging Game earlier? I want to say we did, but... No, that's why we didn't see Digging Game earlier, because it's 2 digs to get to the 10 arrows.
It's a pretty nice digging game. Take it.
Yeah, I want to say that somebody had gone and did it, but that's why we didn't see it. Because when you have 4 screens up, you start missing a couple of things, and that's just a part of trying to keep up with what everyone is doing at that stage. But that's why, because you blink and you miss it with regards to the digging game this time around. It's a whole lot better than those 30 digging games. Those are horrible.
This is like a repeat of yesterday's qualifier. Our runners were on Fighter Sword for the longest. It's actually worse. But yeah, our runners were on Fighter Sword for the longest time.
And in this scene, we're on no swords for a while.
All right. 3 more minutes. Nobody find a sword.
They're not going to find a sword. They're all checking stuff that we've already seen already.
Let's see. There you go.
Now, I am going to probably make a guess here, and I would be surprised if he doesn't do it, is I believe Ak at this point is going to check Spike Cave after he's done with this dungeon.
I could see that.
Yeah, when you have 16 hearts coming out of there, and you may still also have that blue goo in your pocket, you definitely have more than, or that red goo rather. You have more than enough to get yourself through this.
And I think he has experience too with kind of preserving health inside Spike Cave as well.
One of those skills you have to pick up when you're doing those entrance shuffles for certain, because you never know when you're going to find it, and sometimes you got to do things with less than optimal equipment.
Ak, please.
Here we are, we're boasting Ak, and then he falls down the hole, a simple hole.
Yeah.
At this point, it wouldn't surprise me if the first sword was exactly what I said about maybe 15 minutes ago, underneath the bridge there on the way to Moldorm. Not Moldorm, Mothula.
Yeah, we never got that far, did we?
Nobody wants to check it because you have to have a sword in order to beat the dungeon.
That would be a pretty terrible spot for it.
Au contraire, I think that would be a beautiful spot. I think the 300 people that are watching here on SpeedGaming would think so. And we finally get the hype cave check here for Fair Agent.
Yeah, Yeah, this is gonna hopefully set him on the right path.
At this point, it should. I think Ak's just gonna check to see what's in here. Then he's gonna check Spike Cave. And nope, 20 rupees. Don't need to check this. Don't need this. All right, Spike Cave.
All right.
Just a reminder, this is a sequence break. You do need to have a cape or a cane of Burna in order to do this.
So,
Oh, interesting use of a bomb on a half a heart loss right there. That's a strat I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's like the low percent strategy there. Yeah.
And all for
$20.
20 rupees. Oh, goodness. Agate requires a sword for logic. You need a sword to get past. I mean, you can get all the way to the 7th floor. You can see him pull Zelda up to the rafters and have her disappear into the dark world. But he goes behind a curtain, and that's what you need the sword for. That's the only thing you really need the sword for to put him in full logic. That's why we can't do that one maneuver to get to that sword that we know of at the lumberjack at this point.
Yeah, it's really taunting our players right now. I think we're gonna get a scout of Bumper Ledge.
A piece of art right there.
I think Ak is gonna learn the truth about this seed here in just a second.
Well, he's gonna learn the truth about this secret, but it's not gonna do him much good at this point. Hammer there for Fear Agent finally, and there's Ak seeing the sword as Hitsu's gonna head on over. I believe this is gonna be a catfish check now for Hitsu. And we've reached the hour 1 minute mark.
No sword.
And this is something that will really separate the runners. Like the ones who know how to move around mechanically, how to be resourceful with the less than par equipment. Because here we are without a sword. There's another place where a sword could be at this point, Sinek.
Is it start with a P?
I'm not certain where you're going with that P item, but what I was thinking is, don't forget, there's certain things that were hammer blocked that we didn't get to at the Palace of Dark, or the Ice Palace rather, which is where Hitsu's going.
I'm just saying is that there is a I don't think we've checked pedestal, right?
We have not, but really, there's been no major reason to do so at this point.
Yeah. There could be a sword there, though.
There could be.
Yeah.
And then we'll say further reasons why people should have done more damage to you during that crowd control race that you were a part of, Mr. Bot Creator.
Know what? I did not roll this. You cannot blame me. I've been absolved. You can blame Vitor.
That's just a cover.
It is.
It's just going to have a much easier time here with the Pendigators because you have the hookshot, and hookshot kills them in one hit. And based on the fact that Ak just mirrored, if he pulls out the flute, he's pulling out the flute, so I'm not certain where he's going. I thought he might be making the play for Ice Palace at this point, but it looks like he's going towards Meyer area, which we've already seen from our other runners.
You have no access to Meyer yet.
Why don't we have access to Meyer?
Well, we need a sword to open it up.
Are we 100% certain that we didn't swap this with a Swordless Seed?
We probably would have seen some rupees with a 20 on them. But maybe. I don't know.
That's because all of them were probably in GT.
It's like a V22 throwback or something.
Oh my goodness. All swords in GT. Let's go.
I don't see how that. I don't think we can logically have that because of Skull Woods, right? Which is unfortunate because that'd be really fun.
It was a mirage, Mr. Broadstone. There was a sword and lumberjack, but it's a mirage. It's like going through a desert, starting to see imaginations of oases. Is that even a word?
Oases? I don't know. It now is. Congratulations.
What if it's in that one chest that Fear ended up taking a death trying to walk across the spikes to get to? That would be so heartbreaking.
That would be... Well,
Red Rupee. Oh gosh, I was
nothing
hoping
yet.
to. I was so expecting to see a sword right there.
We need something sharp is somewhere in Hyrule. That's our hint for the seed. I don't know, I'm convinced these other swords are on planet Zebus at this point. Big
Ooh,
key.
that's a big key.
Alright, big chest, what you got for us?
I mean, it could very well be that the swords are on SR 388.
That'd be quite the multi-world seed.
At that point in time, you probably only wish you were playing Metroid 2.
So, Bo was at Old Man. Somebody in chat was asking.
Yeah, that's correct. Old Man holds the sword, the bow, which is a piece of this puzzle. And Cold Stare, well, the big chest could also have an item, but there's still a chance that Cold Stare has an item. Seed, what are you doing to us? We want our sharp objects.
See, at least the seed is like in the tradition of all the other qualifiers that we've done so far. They've all had like that one thing that just makes them memorable. And this will be the one thing.
Small key, Cold Stare has an item.
Which means the game did not expect you to have Kane.
Which is also a good point right this time. And don't forget, this is Green Pendant, so Sahasrahla could have the sword.
Can't even use Bombos to save magic. Like, this is going to be like a really hard Cold Stare fight. Well, he does. So Hitsu does have a potion, but these puffs, they just do so much damage. He's got to be really careful. And the
now he does have red mail, so that does help. Check the hint.
Acumemer. He probably. I suspect he did that on accident.
One puff remains. Has to wait out the explosion because he can't switch back to the hammer during the explosion. That's rude that you have to wait it out. A Cold Stare is down. What does he have? A heart piece? A heart piece? All that for a heart piece? Oh!
All right. Sahasrahla, what do you got for us? Come on, deliver. Deliver the goods. We have like 3 runners of an ice palace at the same time. Like, I think everybody was like reading the writing on the wall on this. We'll have to see if...
And the only one who's not in Ice Palace is the one who is trying to make up time for the fact that he didn't have hammer for so long.
Yeah.
Green Pendant. Let's do this. What does Sahasrahla have? Get it in the chat. What does Sahasrahla have?
It's probably a big 20. It can't be much. Like, we're running out of checks. That's the thing.
We've already seen the mushroom. Sahasrahla has sword!
It's our sword!
We have a sword!
An hour 9:26. We have a sword. We
can
have
stab things! We can stab things! Holy hell! Get yourself to School Woods now!
Yeah, I think, yeah, Hitsu's gonna go ahead and fight Mothula now that we have something to get to Moth. That's a bit ridiculous. I could see some people dropping out of this one and forfeiting. I haven't looked at SRL yet, but
I haven't either. I will take a look when we have the first runner on stream here. You said there's 20 people in this race, and they are in for a treat on this one.
they're like, what the heck did I sign up for? Why did I submit the registration form for this race?
Because you probably thought all the bad seeds were already out of the way.
Well, these quals still have something to surprise you with, I guess. So we know that there's probably 2 of the other swords are probably in GT, right? That's what it's really looking like right now. Or TR. They could also be in Turtle Rock. They could be in Mire. So it's likely that that sword on Pyramid or on Lumberjack is very dead to us. I don't see anybody going for that.
They might if they get desperate enough at this point.
I mean, it is a known quantity, right? So you could spend 5 minutes and you have yourself a sword that you need for Ganon. So it is an option. Yeah, that's also assuming the cape shows up, of course.
Where in the world is that cape? I mean, maybe it's the cape that's in GT that leads to the sword. Holy cow! And I thought I'd seen it all here with Link to the Past Randomizer.
I just think it's probably... I don't know off the top of my head what the time difference between a full clear of GT versus doing AGA 2 is, or AGA 1 is. Because, like, if you're in a situation where let's say you have cape at that point, and you find the key really early, you could just opt to just finish GT, and if you don't come across a sword and it was somewhere else in GT, could spend 5 minutes digging. I don't think that'd be a very good play, though.
Hitsu has 17 hearts. This seed was setting him up to have to do all this hard stuff. Just think if this seed didn't give him any health whatsoever.
It's making up for the fact that you're dealing with Fighter Sword right now.
Green pen to pick up there for Ack, and we saw Mothula with a compass.
So right now, Hitsu and Ack are really on pace with each other. Really,
Head
the thing
check.
that's
Head check.
head.
Couch
Oh.
cash. Oh, so everybody was hoping that there was going to be a sword on that pad. So unfortunately, you're going to be disappointed here.
Rip. Get your F's in chat for that pedestal.
Itsu's about to pick up the bow. There's the sword for Ack. No time for angry sword slashes. We got a seed to finish.
Still need that Samaria too. Where? Shady Force is fighting Cold Stare right now.
And there's the vote pickup for hit 2.
You have a potion. There you go.
So now Hitsu's going to be able to do the Palace of Darkness, which will complete his 5-6 combo. And while we know that the lamp can't be there because Palace of Darkness does require the lamp in order to beat it, we do know that the Pyramid Fairy could very well have something of importance. So for those of you tuning in here at the 75-minute mark of this run, this is the SG Live Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament Qualifier number 12 out of the 20 races that are going to be taking place of this game. Open, no hints. That help set up the seeding for the SG Live tournament coming up in October in Herndon, Virginia. You can do exclamation point SG Live to get more information about that. And the top 3 overall, after everything that has been said and done, will have a free pass into the bracket stage. They get to bypass the group stage at SG Live. So there's definitely some stuff on the line as Shady picks up his sword. Adirondack Rick here, joined with Sinek. Sinek, what a seed. You want to give us a brief recap for the people who've missed the first 75 minutes of this?
Yeah, I think like the theme of this one was Send Swords PLZ. We didn't have our first sword until an hour 6 or so minutes into the seed. So there was a lot of swordless shenanigans happening. Otherwise, Hammer was at Hype Cave. Technically, it was locked behind Mushroom.
I just want to say, beautiful Mothula fight there for Ack.
Yeah, that was pretty textbook. All right, Shady's given us our first look at Misery Mire. Yeah, Misery Mire has been locked out of us because of the lack of a sword.
Yeah, very well could be the answer too.
And we're highly looking at like a sword go mode right now.
Sword go mode, although Canis and Mario would put somebody into a probably blitz to get to GT to find the swords there mode. Hitchu's Helmasar King did not go quite the same way as Axe did. Axe had a much smoother Helmasar because Helmasar ended up playing nice for him. And here we go. These are the important checks coming up here is what we see from Shady Force because everyone else is doing something that we have seen before. So Shady Force, could we find something important here? Well, a God Buyer setup when you don't have the Canis Samaria is not what you want to see.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. It's just the worst feeling, right? Like, why can't I get that when it's a go mode?
And even if Shady finds the Canis Samaria, he's not in go mode just yet because he has yet to pull off the bow out of the old man on the mountain. And this is the one place where you feel like you wish you still had hints because that would tell you what's on the left wing under many circumstances. But, you know, it's the nature of the game here. For the longest time, Link to the Past Randomizer did not even have a thing called hints. Back in my day, we didn't need hints.
I'd have to agree. It's kind of nice to kind of see how players have reacted to the lack of hints. Andy basically says he's used to it. He plays a lot of SMZ3, right? So
Yeah.
you don't get hints in SMZ3. Solski's kind of the same way. But some others, there's a few runners in this tournament where they've pretty much only played V30 competitively. So they're very much used to hints. And it's kind of going to be a transition. I think most have gotten comfortable with it, but
going from having hints to help you out to not having hints, it is a little bit different. Oh, the lamp! We have found the lamp that puts the bow in logic. Wow.
Maybe
we're gonna get the pyramid bomb check here from both Ak and Hitsu.
Maybe they'll convince Shady to go pay the old man a visit now.
Canis Amaria!
Oh, well. So now we're sword mode. Hitsu is going to be in the same position here in just a hot second. And
he's going to get a bottle with a B in it. That's not what you want to find when you want to get yourself a little bit of help. So what you're going to see from both Ak and Hitsu now is what's called sword mode. You're going to blitz through the remainder of your dungeons that you have to go through. But you're not really going to try to go out of your way to check things, but you will still open things that are near you. Bombs is the second item, as Shady Force is done with Meyer. Shady needs to get to the old man on the mountain. That will give him his bow. That will set him up nicely towards his sword mode.
So Hitsu, this is we got some sync going on here between Hitsu and Ak. They're very close to each other. I think they've got the same set of checks pretty much done as well. They're not gonna be doing any more overworld checking right now.
Yeah, and they're not getting that lamp either. There's no way they're getting that lamp. There's no reason for them to do it. They're gonna treat this with the God Meyer once they find that big key. Let's see how the first room works for both of these guys. And Ak is done first. Beautiful room. Hitsu has a little bit of problems. Going to have to 3-cycle this room. Maybe 4-cycle. Oh, he gets it.
When you don't have sword beams, just use fire rod to make your own.
Ak is about to get the big key, and then Hitsu bonks into the wall, sending him a little further back. 70 frames. Big key pickup for Ak, and he's going to hover. Hovering, hover. Does he get it? He does.
That actually will save him a decent amount of time doing that. We'll have to see if Hitsu follows up with that as well. I don't know if Hitsu can hover.
Keep in mind, both of these runners entered Misery Mire at the same time. Ak had a much faster first room Misery Mire, and then of course Hitsu bonked into the wall, checked the key first, this room first, and then Ak hovered his way, and he's already opened up probably like a 40-45 second lead at this point.
Alright, yeah, he's already in the third dark room.
Yeah, he's seen the worst of it.
It does help when you don't have to throw that switch. It does help because you don't have to go up and then hit it. You can just.
And so now he's going to go up against Petraeus. Petraeus here. It's still going to be a battle, because we still are dealing with a fighter sword, and we do have arrows, which would probably be another strat that we're going to see the runners use. Or we're going to go hammer strats. It's going to be interesting to see how these runners do the Petraeus strats at this point. This is a nice strategy here from Ak. This is something I've never really thought of, but he is making it work for him.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're taking damage from the pool and not the eyeballs, even though he has red mail, so it's not as bad.
Yeah, down to 4 hearts, but he's going to get through this now. 8 arrows to the eye, and that is done. Misery Mire wrapped up. Time to head up to Turtle Rock.
That was a very clean Petraeus.
Yeah, pretty solid fight for him, as Fear's going to be doing the Armos Knights coming up here in Eastern Palace. We have not seen this, of course, this being a pendant dungeon. And let's see how Hitsu plans it. Got the hammer out, so he's going to do the similar strat that we saw from Mac.
Kind
Gets
of
hit by one of the eyes.
It's yeah. It's situations like this that really separates Rando from like a vanilla speed run. It's just being able to do a multitude of different strategies for the same boss, just based on your gear loadout.
Hitsu had to wolf down his red potion as Ack does buy some potions for the fight ahead, because he's pretty much going to the resolve that he's going to be doing a silverless Master Sword Ganon. Now, we still could get lucky. We could still find the silver arrows. We could still find Tempered Sword, but knowing that a sword is on the Lumberjack ledge that you're never going to even do, it kind of makes you get used to the idea that you're going to be doing Master Sword.
Yeah, and without lamp, it's going to be a very magic expensive Master Sword. Master Sword Ganon.
And Hitsu is not even purchasing any potions right now, so he will claim a little bit time back to Ack, but if he takes a death or of similar fates or worse, Ack will get that time back. But this really is what separates the middle of the road random players from the top. This right here, seeing how these runners are adapting to a fighter sword situation or even an hour 6 swordless. And I'll say this honestly, Sinek, I'm really, really eager to see the talent that these runners bring with them to Herndon, Virginia.
Oh, I am too. It's just gonna be 4 days of really, really skilled ALTTPR players just duking it out. I mean, regardless of who actually makes the top 3 into brackets, I think we're gonna have a lot of really skilled players in the group stages. I think that's probably gonna be a bloodbath as well.
For certain, I mean, we have a whole lot of runners that are going to be not even claiming the top 3 spots in this and get that bypass out of groups, that it's going to be a case where, you know, you're going to see some runners. I mean, Andy's not guaranteed to be in the top 3. He may have to slough it out in the group stage in order to make brackets. We could be seeing Solskjaer. You mentioned his name before. We've seen a whole lot of other quality names here amongst Randomizer, skilled NMG runners and the whatnot here. They could be in that dogfight of groups coming up.
Yeah, it's a max of I think right now the current plan is 10 groups of 5. Maybe less depending on the number of participants we actually have. You got contingencies for all that, of course. But yeah, if you have to fight through 50 people to make your way into the bracket, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of skilled people you're gonna have to come up against, and it'll be like a good thing too. Like you'll be able to kind of get a good feel of how you kind of stack up compared to others. That's how some people are actually playing these qualifiers, just to get a feel for that. They may not be able to make it to SG Live, but that's not stopping them either. Also, there's just based on personal experience here, there's nothing like playing rando with other people like in a real life setting, like in an in-person setting. It's different. Yeah, sorry.
Let's say I'm checking the list of the registrants that have already signed themselves up and put themselves on the name on the Matcherino page. You got Gem, you got the Lane, you've got the people we mentioned before. You've got Asger, who's doing pretty well here in these qualifiers. You got Hacksaw. You got Willard J. Bradley. I mean, Quern as well, who's also not on this restream, but is also in this race. A lot of top names here, and that's going to be a lot of fun to see how it all goes down.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be... I just want to point this out here. Don't forget, if you're not planning on being there as a participant, you can still be there as a spectator at SG Live. Just do an _SG Live to get all the information how you can come on down and join us in Herndon, Virginia as a watcher of all of this.
Oh, and I'm sure even if you're watching, I'm sure that they'll
upgrade.
Whoa. Well, all right. There's go mode, I suppose.
At 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 50 seconds, Act the Bokor officially now is in go mode.
Yeah, he'll have to. I suspect he'll probably. I have a feeling he'll probably still check Laser Bridge.
Well, he has to check Laser Bridge. He's got no keys.
Yeah. I mean, beyond the small key. Just simply because if you could come across silvers or tempered, that's going to save him a lot of time.
There's the cape.
Well, so if you're like in a situation where you're not comfortable with silverless Master Sword, it looks like he's forsaking that last chest. I don't know, like. Was that still? Like, could that have been an item? I don't know.
It's probably an item because we've seen the compass in the big chest. Hitsu just found it.
Okay.
And that's the only thing that's left. So there is an item in that fourth and final chest. But just getting back to what we were talking about before I was doing the big push to have spectators come on by and watch us at SG Live, there's just there's a lot of talent, and I noticed that we have another great Link to the Past rando, or not a Link to the Past rando, but another great Link to the Past runner as a whole in chat watching in WQ. I mean, there's a lot of skill that have been playing here in these qualifiers, and it's just amazing to watch how these people adapt to different scenarios.
All right, and down goes Trinex.
Oh, that's the quake. We didn't need that. So Axe saves himself from missing out on maybe Silver Sword, the Tempered Sword, by not getting that. And there is the final crystal for Act the Bokor. Sinek, we'd like to do a guessing game here in this channel. You would.
All right, so there are 22 items that are available in Ganon's Tower. I need a number.
I'm gonna pick 15, but yes, you are right. 22.
Yeah, I should know that by now. It's early. I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe it's like an early number. Right? I really want to see some Master Sword Silverless from Ak. I want him to earn this win if it is in fact him that wins.
Absolutely. So to answer a question that somebody asked in chat, if this is going to be broadcast, the SG Live stuff, the intent is we may not be able to do all the group stuff, but we are going to be doing all the bracket stuff, and some of the groups will be broadcast on the SpeedGaming channels. 18 hearts. My goodness.
It's a very healthy seed. Just pretty much nothing of anything else.
Yeah, and that's the most amount of hearts we're going to see, because we know that a full heart container was on the Ether tablet.
Half Magic also hasn't shown up yet. Yeah, there was like a dearth of safeties.
There's a lot of quality of life upgrades that we could find here in this GT. Mm-hmm. And Hitsu's about to finish off with the Trinex fight. We are going to have a dogfight between these two to maybe find out if either of these runners can be the #1 overall in this race. There's the silvers. Here's the half magic.
Figure eventually, if you start mentioning it repeatedly, eventually you'll get a hit, right? That's how it works. Anyway,
things just got a whole lot more comfy, and it's on the torch.
Ooh.
There's
all right, so that's 7. And looks like he. All right, so he needs to grab a key, and then he's gonna get out of here.
So if anybody, and this is something that somebody had just put in the chat, if they go just to the left side, they do the hope room, and then they make their way to the left side, they're not getting silvers.
Yeah, this is going to save Ak a lot of time because 24 Master Sword spins. That takes a lot of time.
Yep, you only have to do 4 now.
Yeah,
and we're talking stage 4, by the way.
Yep. It won't help in phase 1 and 2, but there's other strats to deal with that and make that easier.
That's fine. We're just gonna find the tempered sword up here on the 6th floor.
All right, and Hitsu is remembering that he does need, in fact.
Yeah. And he is even going to see if he can't locate a sword. Oh, wow.
I don't blame him. That half magic is also going to make phase 4.
Yeah, but he's not getting it unless he goes to the full right side,
Yeah.
and nothing's screaming right side of him at this point.
That's true.
He's just going to check these 4 and then nope out. He's going upstairs. So, oh no, he's going to the hope room.
He really wants tempered or silvers.
Yeah, he does. Is he going any further? Nope. Nope, you go any further this time. It just becomes a time sink if it turns out not to be here. I mean, Hitsu's doing what you feel is the right play at this point, but it's not going to pay off for him. Fear's trying to set up the dash with the bomb. He finally gets it. Just as a reminder, be sure to follow these runners. This Saturday afternoon, they're playing this game. They play this game a whole lot. They are pretty well at this, but they also play other games, so be sure to follow them and support them. And also shout-outs to our help behind the scenes. We have Mr. Broadstone and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna clicking the buttons, making sure that the icons appear as these runners grab them.
Yeah, thank you so much, you two. You make commentary a lot easier to do. All right, so Ak is making his way to the first torch room.
Fear just picked up his cane of Samaria, and he's going to be making his way over towards the Misery Mire area at this point. Shady's heading into Turtle Rock, as Ak currently with the 2-floor advantage over Hitsu, but also with the silvers in hand.
It's like, I think Fear is going for gonna half dip. Yeah, gonna half dip Mire.
We just visited the Pyramid Ferry. I don't think we got it lit up on the tracker.
Okay. All right. So never mind. All right. He'll be able to complete this.
You're hoping to see something orangish colored out of a chest at this point. And arrow shreds here for Hitsu. And Ak was considering the hover, but did not pull it off.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna kill Moldworm.
At this point, you probably should.
Yeah, like hovering once might be a good idea, but like repeatedly failing it, you could lose a lead doing that. So
yeah, and at the 1 hour and 38-minute mark, and this is not a great seed, but you start to get nervous when you start to get beyond the 90-minute mark of a seed, because you wonder where you are as a correspondent, or where you are in relation to the other runners. And you don't know. Maybe we've seen some dot duns. I'm not going to tell you whether or not we have just yet.
all right, and Ak is gonna go pay Agatu a visit. Maybe the double triple.
No, he's got himself up set up for a double there.
It's pretty good.
He may have gotten the triple, but the Aga moved too far away.
There's 3. It's a strikeout.
There's 5 right there, so he's got 1 more hit left to do. And there's 6, and Act the Bokor is heading to Ganon. Master Sword, Silver Arrows. Probably a 142 or 143 at this point we're looking at for Ack.
So Ack has a couple options for dealing with phase 1 and 2. He can he has to do spins with the Master Sword. Only tempered or higher he can you slash Ganon. What he can do is that there's a strategy where you can drop a Samaria block next to Ganon. You do some spins. It's not as easy as it looks. You have to push the controller in a specific direction to control yourself.
I just want to also point out that Ack did purchase some potions, so he could load up the Magic Cape and try to get some spins on him in the second cycle if he really wanted to get some extra hits on him.
Yeah, and that half magic is also really going to help if he decides to use that strategy too.
By the way, while we were discussing what was going on with Act the Bokor and Hitsuin, Fear did some hovering in the Misery Mire area after getting the big key. So here comes the Magic Cape, and so he's going to use this, and then once again, he's got blue potions in hand, so this is not going to be any sort of concern for Act the Bokor.
Yeah. And Fear is giving us some Bomberman strats on Petraeus.
I believe Fear bought the bomb upgrade when he had his first trip to the Ice Palace, so he definitely had some extra ones to give. Unfortunately, he's now pretty much out of bombs, so now he's got to go to other strategies. So there's the there's the use of the blue potion for Ack as he is now in stage 3. Hitsu's about ready to go into the Ganon fight as well.
So Ack has an advantage here just because of the silver arrows. Hitsu is going to have a much more difficult phase 4.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Hitsu is going to have to do 24 sword spins. Now, it looks like this is a really nasty Ganon with a whole bunch of warps, too. Did you find the arrows in my tower? Sure did. And I'm going to actually throw one at you right now. Gets the torch glitch. Torch glitch is going to be more important for Hitsu, and Hitsu's going to go buy some potions now that he did not get the opportunity to get the half magic or the silver arrows.
All right, and there's our 4th shot. There, down goes Ganon.
Yep. That is it, Act. The Bokor is about to cross the gate. Is he your race winner? Fear Agent just had enough arrows to finish off Petraeus as he used his final arrow in order to pull out the win against Petraeus. And Act the Bokor is your race winner. 142.19.
Yeah, what a great time. Compared to what the seed threw it yet, he took that pretty well.
Let's talk to Ack right now. Ack, the race winner. GG.
GG's, guys. Thank you.
How did it feel to find those silver arrows right-hand side?
I mean, I was glad I definitely checked it. I don't know. I was kind of ready to do it without the silvers. I had the 2 potions, whatever.
Yeah, but it made it a whole lot easier than what we're going to see from Hitsu, as Hitsu's doing this without the silver arrows, did not go right side, just went the left side and found the big key where he did. How about this 66-minute Swordless Seed?
I mean, I'm kind of glad it went that way because I felt like it worked in my favor because I elected to do a lot of dungeon swordless very early. So the swords, if they, would have been just in some of the places I hadn't checked prior to doing the dungeons, it would have been really bad for me, but I guess this time it worked out. I don't know, I was having fun. I was like, I mean, if it wasn't for these stupid medallion dungeons, man, who needs these swords? Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. This seed really did reward players who practice their swordless strats. Yeah.
And shoutouts to the last tournament.
I mean, one of the things that we pretty much made a mention of is your route pretty much was almost perfect. Yeah, you ended up diving into Swap Palace, but it was a case where you wanted to get that first item check right there in case it may have been something big. That was really the only misplay that you made early on. It was a fantastic route.
Yeah, I mean, it basically played itself out too. I mean, if I had a dungeon I could do, I went and did it. Else, I just kind of went to, all the other stuff. Like when I got the hammer, and then I finally decided to go up Death Mountain. Even though I could have gone up Death Mountain forever, not having the flute, it almost seems like that might have saved me time because you could have spent a lot more time looking for your Darkhold access if you had gotten your flute earlier. And I decided to leave it underwater. Some strange reason.
So you want to know how convoluted this logic was for this seed?
I mean, I don't. I get.
So you had to get the Ice Palace to get that sword off Sahasrahla, to get into Misery Mire where the lamp was, so you can finally get that bow off the old man.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. When I found the. I mean, I for some reason I thought that the lamp had to be in Mire, but I guess it could have been in Turtle Rock. But at that point, I felt like chasing the things that were going to be behind the lamp opposed to not, because honestly, I thought it was going to be somewhere in Ice Palace when I went in there.
Actually, couldn't have been in Turtle Rock because where the Cadence of Mario was, that Pyramid Fairy.
So Ack, this puts you in a really good position right now in the standings. Yeah, you have yourself a 100, and your other score was a 99-16.
Well, I still have quite a few more races to do, so don't worry. I have plenty of time too, and most likely blow this lead that I have, so don't worry about that one.
But this has got to give you some confidence as you go into your other qualifiers. As we see Hitsu still going off against the Ganon, 24 spins, almost there. I think we should be almost done with this by, I think we were at 22 or 23. Yeah, that's 24. There it is.
All right.
Yeah, I was a little confused why he hadn't finished yet, because after I had finished, we're on the delay, I was checking the restream, and I'm like, dang, he's right behind me in Mire. And then shortly after he finishes, he sends me a message saying, hey, where were the silvers? And I was like, well, you know what? That explains it.
Now, there was one interesting thing that you should watch back. You both entered Misery Mire at the same time, and you immediately catapulted to like a 40-second lead because of your first room Mire was a whole lot better than his. He like 3-cycled, and then, of course, you hovered.
Yeah. If it's going to give you the big key, the first chest, you always have to hover. And yeah, I mean, at that point, I was still missing a sword, but I knew one of those items had to be the lamp. There was no other place it could have been.
So, Hitsu finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour 46:49.
And that's good for second place overall.
And hey, GG. We're welcome by Hitsu.
GG's, guys. I'll finish up here, let Hitsu talk. I gotta get ready for work, but thanks for the restream tracking and all that good stuff.
You are leaving. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't like Hitsu. I'm sorry, guys. No, dude, GG's, man. I just gotta go to work.
GG's.
It's fair.
So, your thoughts overall about the seed?
Yeah, it was a good seed, I guess, because it was not so easy. I like the seeds because no one can gamble shit and win easily, so it was very nice, I guess. But I don't like that I don't check the old man in the dark before doing pot.
Yeah.
So, you were the first one on stream to get a sword.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was my last location, I guess. Ice.
Yeah, that's where everyone's first sword turned out to be, was through the green pen of Sahasrahla. As we see Fear Agent currently in Turtle Rock, and Shady Force is making his way through the Mimics at this point, but he did left side, so he does not have the silver arrows. Quite a rude seed overall. Like, where are the swords? We don't even know where 3 of them were. We don't know where that 4th one was. Gem finishes 3rd. That rounds up the top 3 that is used for the average time. Finishes 3rd, 1:48.59. So that about average time is going to be what, about 145, 146?
Roughly. I won't try to do math on stream, but yeah, Act definitely would have pushed the average upward. Or downward, I should say.
While I raced the seed, I was really happy that I checked left side first in GT, but after finishing and seeing in the restream that silvers are on right side.
Silver's in half magic.
Yeah, and normally I
Yeah.
go every time right side, and the meta changed. Everyone is going left now, so I thought today, okay, let's do left side, and the tone paid off.
Yeah, Spear Agent takes the death there. Did he do safety door? Yes, he did do safety door. So he's going to head up against Trinex as Shady goes and makes his way up the tower, finishing off the gauntlet, having a real rough time in that last room of the gauntlet.
So, Hisoyan, how are you feeling so far in your qualifiers? You've posted some pretty decent times.
Yeah, I don't think I can make it to top 3, so I probably will drop out after the 5 races. Because a lot of runners have already 3 races with better points as me.
That's fair.
So it's, I don't know, everything can happen, but I guess not.
You never know. I mean, stranger things can happen. I mean, we saw what happened. Shady Force here was, as Sinak was plugging him early, was your number 1 leader, and he's going to drop some positions here.
This will probably be his low seed, and he'll probably get thrown.
More than likely at this point, but that will at least get rid of his safety net.
It will. But you're going to have one bad race out of a series of 5. It's just going to happen. Like Andy's second race was bad. Like he got like 12. It just happens, even to the best runners, right?
I mean, we saw that happen to Asger as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will try to win the next 2 races with 100 points, and my 94 is dropping out, so it will be fine.
Well, just do the best you can, and good luck to you. Hopefully we can see you in Virginia, but who knows?
Yeah, thanks guys for picking me up for the restream, commentating, tracking, restreaming, and all other stuff you do for the live tournament. It's pretty awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you for participating. You gave us a good match to watch.
No problem.
So as Fear gets ready to head into Ganon's tower, we see Shady Force bypassing some chests, which is an interesting decision to do as you're at Master Sword and without the silver arrows. As Shady Force makes his way up to the further end of the tower here, Fear Agent's going to go to the right side. Does he do full right side?
So I think in Shady's eye, I'm gonna play amateur psychologist for a second here, and what I'm thinking is that he's in a position where he probably wants to save as much time as he can, because he knows that, all right, if all else fails, I completely bomb Ganon, and I die a lot. Well, then at least I know this is gonna be the one that's gonna be thrown out. But if I can at least salvage it, then I have a better safety net for my remaining races.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Fear Agent is going right side.
So he'll get his silvers and half magic.
And ever since Gem finished at 148.59 to round up the top 3, we have not had another finisher on stream. Can Shady Force perhaps be the 4th place? We'll see. It is a long spin to go as Fear does pick up his silver arrows. So, coming up here on the Speed Gaming channels, do want to plug a couple of things while we got people here watching the end of our SG Live qualifier. Coming up a little bit later on today, we have a crowd control race here on Speed Gaming. So stay tuned for that. If you love tormenting our runners by exchanging your bits to perhaps give them some swords, give them cuckoo attacks and things like that, we've got a crowd control race coming up tonight, 6 p.m. here on Speed Gaming. Also on the other channels tonight, we also have the Super Mario Brothers 1 Warpless Tournament Championship. First, the elimination bracket finals at 8 p.m. and then at 8:30 p.m. the winner of that match takes on world record holder Cosmic in the Grand Championship. That's going to be 2 streams. Speed Gaming 2 will be the English stream, and for those of you fluent in Japanese, we have a Japanese restream happening on Speed Gaming 3. That's beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight here on Speed Gaming.
Oh, Japanese, huh? That's that'd be a new one, wouldn't it? I don't think I've seen a Japanese stream on Speed Gaming yet.
Super Mario Brothers did do a Japanese restream during their 2018 Warpless Tournament finals, which is why they picked up the Japanese restream for this finals as well.
Okay. They must have a fairly large Japanese community then, or I'm just curious. That's all.
Yeah, I think about maybe 2/5 or a quarter. I don't know which number exactly, but they do definitely have some Japanese runners in the SMB 1 community. As we see Shady trying to finish off this Ganon fight. A lot of spins gets him into stage 3.
Yeah. Now it's a spin to win. Yeah. You'll be able to conserve.
Spin.
Yeah. You'll be able to conserve some magic with the lamp.
Picked up the torch glitch, which will help. Trying to get himself set up here so he can maybe do a spin on him soon after lighting the torch. He does. As Spears making his way up to the tower, and we continue on through here. Another torch light coming up here from Shady Force gets Ganon into position. More spinning around.
He's probably about halfway through his spins, it feels like.
Yeah, that's right. We do have our 4th place finisher overall. Haiku Type finished 4th, 156.28. GG's to Haiku Type.
Alright. Yeah. For anybody who hasn't tried doing Silverless Ganon, it's not trivial. Or Silverless Master Sword, I should say, at least. It's a lot of spins.
It's a lot of patience. You really got to have a whole lot of patience to get through this fight. And that's something that we did see from Hitsuen, is how to be patient, how to do this efficiently. And it's not easy at all.
That's the worst fight.
Yeah.
I did love
At least he has the lamp. That's good.
Yeah, I did like the similar fight strategies between you and... Oh, he's out of magic.
He's out of magic.
Ooh, that's not good. So he's going to have to make his way over to the potion shop and get some extra ones here. Sphere Agent is closing up the gap now. What I did love, by the way, Hitsu, is that you and Ak had the similar fight strategy for Petraeus.
Yeah, I saw this in X stream and repeated that. Or what? He don't use the hammer for the eyes, or?
So we do have our 5th place finisher. Kern finished in 5th, 157.51.
All right. And Fear Agent is finishing up Moldorm 2.
Yeah, it's a possibility that Fear Agent could just about go past Shady Force now because of the loss of magic here for Shady Force having to redo this fight. And remember, Fear does have the silver arrows, so his stage 4 is going to be a whole lot faster than Shady Force's. Also remember, Shady Force is going to have a different Ganon pattern here because of the second fight.
Yeah, this could be favorable or not favorable. Though the Ganon pattern did seem pretty nice.
Yeah, but the big thing is how many warps does he do in stage 3?
Yep.
That's the big determining factor of how the RNG goes. Coming up in 6th place, we had Trinex finishing 159.19. So top 6 runners, that looks to be all we have for sub 2 hours. Act the Bokor, Hitsu, and Gem, they crushed this seed.
I think the lack of swords really slowed down some runners.
Oh, absolutely. This is a true test of how good you are with your combat, how good you are with your execution combat skills. As Fear drops into the Ganon fight, Shady dealing with stage 2 now. And Fear Agent now trying to deal with stage 1. Shady Force is now in stage 3, but he lost the opportunity to get a... Well, no, he did get the hit on him. I didn't think he did at first, but there he goes. He does get the first hit on him. And so far, this Ganon seems to be playing nice, but, well, here... Well, he's got 3 parts down. And there's the 4th one. And as Shady Force begins stage number 4, shout-outs to Brewers fan JP, finishing 7th place overall, 2 hours and 55 seconds for 7th place.
I think that's 4 spins. 5. I'm trying to keep track here.
Yeah, I think we're at 6 right there. Was that a triple on that cycle? That was pretty solid.
Yeah, if you time... Yeah, so if you time your lighting of the torch correctly, you can get 3 spins out on Ganon.
Don't look now, but Fear Agent is now in the 3rd cycle here, the 3rd phase.
Yeah, and this is going to be a lot faster for Fear Agent. He needs to worry, though, about his health.
He definitely does, down to 3 hearts at this point. Getting hugged by Ganon is going to kill him. I believe the bats would put him down to 1 heart. Gus, 8th place, 20202. All the 2s. So now Fear gets the sword out. There's going to be the first of the silver hits on him.
I think he got 3rd. Yeah, this might be hit 4. Yep.
There it is. And Fear Agent has pulled ahead of Shady Force because of the silver arrows. And Shady Force trying to finish off this Ganon fight. And he's got to be getting really close to his 24th at this point. Mistimed it right there. Fear Agent finishing up, that would be 9th place for him. And Ganon's down for Shady Force. So Fear Agent finishes 9th place, 202.47. All right. It looks like Shady Force is going to be 10th.
Get your GGs in chat for Shady Force. And speaking of Shady Force...
Yeah, get your GGs in the chat for both of these runners. The GGs.
Yeah. GG, Fear Agent.
Hey, GGs.
GG's.
And we'll get Shady Force in here. Hey, GG, Shady Force.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah. So, how... You guys want swords?
Ooh, I wish I had done Uncle. I wish I had done a Dark Uncle.
You mean the old man?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, old man. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Same diff.
I feel that cost me a lot of time in the seed, and not having done that, I think, put me out of the reckoning for this seed, no matter what else I did after that.
Yeah, missing out on that bow really hurt you, but you were the only one who found out how to get the old man even in logic in this seed.
Yeah, I went all the way to cleared everything until Ice Palace, and then eventually got it off Sahasrara, and then that unlocks Mire, and then you go to Mire and you get the lamp from there, and then suddenly I'm praying that there's not a sword in one of the dark room places I skipped, because I also skipped the cross in Hyrule Castle.
Everybody
and I
did.
knew if a sword was in one of those places that I could have saved a lot of time, and then it happened that's the way it was.
Everybody on the stream skipped Dark Cross, which did have an item, but everyone on this stream also finished with the Master Sword. 2 of you had silvers, 2 of you did not.
Yeah, well, the damage was done, I think, before silvers were a thing. So, it was fun doing the silverless fight. It's good practice.
Yeah, real unfortunate that you ran out of magic and had to nope out of that, which ended up costing you the position over Fear Agent, who's also here with us. So, overall, what was your thoughts about the Seed Fear?
I tend to avoid anytime anyone wants to do a swordless seed. So not a fan of swordless. And I mean it's not surprising that Ak and Gem and Hitsu finished first overall in this. Putting that sword on a green pendant in Ice Palace was pretty it's pretty messed up.
Well, that plus taunting you with the sword at the lumberjack that you were never going to get.
Yeah. I mean, you could never even get that until you did, I guess, Turtle Rock. And, I gambled on Ice Palace, but I got the hammer super, super late. I made some silly gambles. Like, I thought Ice Palace was going to have something. I was right, but I was just wrong when to do it. And not only did I gamble it early, it was terrible. Like, everything about it went wrong. Like, my Pangator room was terrible. I had to leave to go get bombs because I didn't really have a way to get through there. And then when I got to the last chest, I had 2 hearts and no way to get to the chest through the spikes.
Yeah, you could hear us saying it at some point in time, wondering if there was actually going to be a sword in that chest. It turned out to be the big key that
if there was
led you to a sword, but not the way we were hoping.
Yeah, I mean, if there was something there, if the sword was there, the hammer was there, then it's one of those. I knew it was like a big gamble to do it that early with as much stuff as I had open, but these seeds tend to be, these SG qualifiers, Plando seeds seem to be really mean, and so I'm just kidding about the Plando part. They just feel like Plandos.
I feel you there.
You're not the only person who's expressed this, but Santa keeps reminding me that they're not.
They are. No, they were rolled legitimately. Don't.
Yeah, I'm just kidding about that. It's just they seem to be rough, and like I wasn't wrong about going to ice. I was just wrong about doing it when I did it. And this seed I think really benefited or showed who like the cream of the crop of the runners are, because you have to you got to be good, and I'm like average, and I feel like I finished in a very average spot. Shady got unlucky with his magic and stuff. Should have beat me by like minutes, but yeah, it is what it is. I still finished 9th, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the average time in the seat's still pretty high, despite like Ak and Hitsu getting quite good times, but there wasn't that many sub 2 hours.
Yeah, there were only 6 overall.
The race is concluded, so we should be able to get the math done. Maybe we can get the sheet updated either today or tomorrow.
It's just so weird how empty everything was. Like when I went to pod even before I got the hammer and got the hook shot, so I was like, great, let's go do the mountain, get all our stuff, and then there was nothing. And I was like, man, this is insane. I want to say it was like after 50 minutes before I even cleared my first dungeon because it took so long for me to get that hammer.
So speaking of the race here, we'll give you the official results here now. We'll go through the entire list. The Bokor was first, 142.19. Hitsu was second, 146.49. Gem was third, 148.59. Haiku Type was 156.28 for fourth. Kern was fifth for 157.51. Trinex was sixth, 159.19. Bruce Fan JP, seventh, 2 hours, 55 seconds. Gus was eighth in 2:02 and 2. Fear Agent was 9th, 2:02.47. Shady Force was 10th, 2:03.12. Then we had Shiva Haze was 2:03.30. Old Man Sunshine was 2:10.53. Matt the Ogre was 13th, 2:11.24. Incoherent 14th, 2:12.39. Amerith was 15th, 2:23.01. Ovitus was 2:23.39 and 16th, and SMBM Oro was 17th, 2:24.22 rather. Mechanics and Nilson, Alex decided to spend their day doing something else than trying to figure out where that sword was. They forfeited.
Yeah, it was a tough seed. I mean, if you're not practiced with swordless, and shoot, even hammerless, the hammer, I wasn't, for me, it took me 50 minutes. I'm sure it didn't take everyone that long, but if you're not practiced with swordless, things like Vitreous are not easy to do. Unfortunately, I mean, we had a red mail and like 1 million hearts, so there was that.
You should check out
had
the
a lot of
strategy.
defense, for sure. Yeah.
You should check out the strategy Ack used on that. He basically used the hammer. He basically took iframes from the swamp, and then used that then to hammer the eyeballs.
Yeah, both him and Hitsu did the same strategy with the hammer using the iframes, and the fact that we had red mail at that point in time definitely helped. I mean, this definitely was a healthy seed in the fact that, everybody except for Shady finished with 18 hearts.
Yeah, red mail and 18 hearts is ridiculous.
Oh, I've only 17. I must have skipped one on the way up. Probably everyone else opened them looking for Tempered Sword or something.
I am curious where that last sword is.
I have no idea, but it was definitely a battle for everyone trying to get to the first sword. First sword on our stream was 66 minutes in.
That's insane.
Yeah, Hitsu got at the 66-minute mark. Shortly followed up by Ack.
I think that's pretty much it for us, though. I think it's time for us to wrap up. So we do have more Link to the Past Randomizer qualifiers coming up as we near the back quarter of this. Tomorrow will be number 13. What time is that, Sin?
I think that's at 7 p.m. I want to say. EDT. Let me pull it up here. Type. Yeah, it's at 7. It'll be on your stream at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
For the runners at 7 p.m. Eastern time. For the restream, they'll be on live at 7:15 p.m. for the third qualifier, or the 13th. Yeah, 13th.
Yep.
Add a 1 next to that. 13th qualifier. So with that, let's go ahead and say goodnight. Have yourselves a good day. This special thanks to the Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna for joining us as one of our trackers, as well as Mr. Bronstone for Act the Bokor, Hitsu, for Shady Force, and also for the Fear Agent. Be sure to give them a follow. I'm Adirondack Rick saying thank you for joining us for this SG Live Link to the Past Randomizer qualifier. We'll see you again tomorrow, 7:15. Enjoy everything else we got coming up on the SpeedGaming schedule. Sinek, you lead us on out of here.
Thanks for joining us. Send swords. Okay, thanks.
Bye.